She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Let's talk about closing. Now, we know that we have access to a crazy amount of contacts, right? Did I not show you all the different places that you have access to contacts? It's crazy. You will never run out of people to talk to. You'll never run out of warm, free leads. You have access to people all over the place. And as long as you're leading, again, with how can I benefit you, there's no rejection. Did you hear me? If you're leading with how can I benefit you, there is no rejection. If you're only always leading with the one-way deal of, hey, I want you to benefit me, I want your money, and I don't care about if I fulfill the deal with you, then guess what? Then you will incur rejection. So what I'm showing you is rejection proof. Absolutely rejection proof. Okay, so from the contacts, and you know how to start that conversation, you know the right mindset to lead with, there is a presentation. And presentations are very important to know how to do. Presentations, number one, first of all, you have to identify with whoever it is that you're talking to. If you've done this part right, if you've formed, you found the need, you're filling it, the presentation's easy. It's absolutely easy because you're gonna wrap that presentation around what? Them, their needs and what? Their benefits, okay? Not yours, all right? So that makes the close really easy. So each presentation really starts with an introduction of who you are and you're identifying with them, it's part of your story. Then you're presenting a problem. Now, if you've formed them, you already know what the problem is, don't you? You know what the problem is because they told you what the problem is, okay? So you present a problem and then a solution. As you're presenting the solution, what must always be in the solution? Exactly, stories. The proof that the solution works. The only proof that there is that the solution works is testimonials, that's it. Testimony is the only thing that proves that your solution, your proposed solution, is actually the right solution, is testimonials. So one of the things that we have focused on from day one is stories, is collecting stories. We get stories every single day. Every day to our Facebook or to email, our phone, on the phone, we get crazy, wild testimonials. So excuses are obliterated by testimonials. The best closing presentation you can do is with testimonials. Not talking about yourself, about what you think, but tell your story. If you think your story is too small, still tell your story and tell other people's stories. Because there's nothing that moves people faster than stories, especially with closing. So earlier I said that I had learned a really powerful close 25 years ago. I still use that close. And it's really the best close. It's like a 1-2 punch and a kick that just kicks the excuses out of people. And if you don't tell enough stories, you're not closing enough deals. And if you want to raise your closing ratios, you're just going to get good at telling stories. So you listen for that excuse, but you answer the excuse with results. You answer every excuse with results, and you persist with more stories. This is why it's so important. It's so funny to me how people rather learn facts than learn stories. They rather sell facts than sell stories. But facts tell, stories sell. And some of you will become phenomenal closers just because you've got an arsenal of testimonials that you can just bam, 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 bam. You should at least be telling 10 stories a day, if not more. If not more. And especially be matching the excuse or the objection with the story that fits that excuse and that objection. And there's just basic objections. So back to the presentation, you identify with the prospect, you already know what the problem is, you present the problem, you present the solution, and then testimonials. That's a basic presentation, okay? Now, for some of you, you have a product and you have a business opportunity to sell. All right? And by the way, for the contractor that's in the room and everybody else that has a business that's similar to that, Okay, if you farm and you sell food or you sell vitamins or travel or electricity, or it doesn't really matter, you sell legal services, it doesn't really matter. You form that prospect, you identify with them, you build me toos by telling your story, okay? You create you show the problem, the solution, and the results. So if you have a product and a business that you're selling at the same time, it's the same formula. ID, present the problem. The problem is, for example, I'll tell you, when I started in the weight loss business 20 whatever years ago, at that time, the weight loss business was a $33 billion industry. And 1 out of 2 Americans were overweight. Today, it's 1 out of 3. It's actually, 1 out of 3 are obese. Yeah, 1 out of 3 are obese. 1 out of 3. Isn't that crazy? Like, and they actually said 25 years ago that the industry was expected to double inside of 20 years, and it absolutely has doubled inside of the next 20 years, okay? So the problem is stroke, heart disease, and cancer being caused by obesity, and people that need to lose weight, they're not being able to play with their kids, they're not being able to have energy to do things in life anymore. The problem of being overweight has created all kinds of heart problems, diabetes problems, even cancers. You see what I'm doing? I'm creating the problem, right? And then bam, here's the solution. The solution is this product, and here's the results. Testimonial, testimonial, testimonial that this particular solution works, right? So that's part 1 of a presentation. The second part of the presentation perhaps is your compensation structure, your business opportunity that goes along with if one chooses to market that product, right? So what does that start with again? Well, if you're the same person doing that presentation, we used to like to break up the presentation with 2 different people. Why? Because we believed in training up new people to do the presentation is why. So the second part of that presentation was an ID, a problem, right? Problem was this. How many of you have often found that there's not enough money left over at the end of the month? Okay, you have more month left over than money. Okay, how many have ever been in a situation where you worked paycheck to paycheck? Okay, have you ever been in a situation where you've wanted more out of life but simply just couldn't afford it? Okay, so if I'm selling a business, I'm going to use those kinds of questions that are pulling up a problem that if I formed my prospect, I already know what their need is. I already know that they're frustrated that they don't make enough money, so I'm going to ask the question and bring that back to the forefront of their mind. Have you been in a situation where there's things you wanted to do? You wanted to travel, but you couldn't afford it. Yes. I would love to travel, but I can't afford it. And time, time seems to have slipped away, and you get 2 weeks paid vacation each year, and there's all these places you want to go to, and between money and time, you don't have an endless supply of both of those things. What are they saying? Yes, I don't have an endless supply of both of those things. So again, this is part of an ID. I'm creating the problem, the solution being the presentation. The presentation must always close with what? Stories. 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 Stories handle objections. Did you hear me? Stories handle objections. Stories handle objections. Stories handle objections. You cannot argue with people's results. You can argue with them that they can find the money, but they cannot argue with the fact that Sharana wanted this so badly and needed the change in her life so badly, she was willing to do whatever it took to get the money and the approval from her husband to make that happen. And because of her persistence, she made it happen. She went, she came out of that event, she paid off $15,000 worth of debt in 6 months, lost 40 pounds, so did her husband, restored her marriage, restored her relationships in her family, reduced her stress, and is on a path of helping other people do the same thing. So I don't know about you, but if you want those kind of results, you're going to find the money, you're going to find the solution, you're going to do what she did. And you might get more results than her or less. That all depends on you. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So with closing, you must tell people what you want them to do. Tell them what you want them to do. Your next step is. That's a call to action. Your next step is. Why? We live in a society where people have been conditioned to be told what to do. We live in a society where people don't know how to make their own decisions. We live in a country, and many countries around the world have done the same exact thing to their populace, where they've been trained since they were babies, especially when they started in school. They've been trained not to think. Making your kids dumber is right. You're absolutely right. So we live in a society that is filled with a populace that doesn't know how to think for themselves, doesn't know how to make their own decisions, and are wanting someone else to tell them what to do. So what do you do with that equation? You use it. You tell them what to do. Your next step is. They don't want to make a decision. So great, you take the decision out of their hands and you assume the close. So when you say your next step is, that's an assumptive close. Okay, now I just want to see show hands because I want to make sure that some of you understand what I'm saying. Do you not agree that we live in a society where people want other people to make decisions for them? How many of you have been a part of that society? How many of you have been afraid to make decisions? How many of you have asked other people to make the decision for you? That's what a 401k is, by the way. I don't know how to do it. I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up. I want someone else to do it for me. Get it?
What do you say to a Ruby that doesn't want to be told what to do?
The way that I've just pitched it, they don't know that they're being told what to do. Do you understand? Your next step is. I just finished telling all these stories. I presented their problem, presented the solution, proved to them that other people are doing it without them, and other people have done it better and faster. The stories challenge the rubies. What goes through the mind of a ruby when they hear the story is, well, if that sucker can do it, I can do it faster. If that sucker can do it, I can do it better. Rubies are the easiest people to close. They really are the absolute easiest people to close. They really are. They're the absolute easiest. They can't say no. They can't. They can't say no. They say yes to everything. Pearls, did you hear that? There's no reason to be afraid of them. They are y'all need to leave here and just go look for rubies. You'll raise your closing ratios really fast. Really, really fast, because they're super easy to close. The easiest. Okay. Anyway, so your next step is. Okay, I got to tell you something. Years ago, before Secret Millionaire was coming to our house, and we had the time of when they were going to be at our house, right? And we were in between houses. when we were negotiating the Secret Millionaire deal, we were in between houses. So we were in a rental, and we were about to be homeless. It was amazing. It was an awesome experience. And a miraculous thing happened. We ended up being able to move it into a house that we hadn't even had a contract on to buy yet. But the guy said, hey, you know what? If they want to move in now, they can rent back. We're like, we really need to move in, like right now. Call the movers and tell them, here's the address you're going to. Because they were texting us going, where do you want us to put this stuff? We're like, do you have an address of where this is going? Hold on one second. Okay, seriously, that's how it went. It was amazing. Anyway, but Secret Millionaire, 40 days from that day, was supposed to be arriving at our house to film at our house. Okay, a house that we don't even know what house we're going to have. Do you understand? So we get into this house. We have no furniture. It's a long story, but anyway, we have to get this house filled, decorated, ready for ABC Secret Millionaire to be filming in 40 frickin' days, okay? I'm gonna teach you something about closing. I interviewed 3 designers, 3. And I tell all of them, we have 40 days. That's all. We have a house to fill in 40 days. So I'm looking for somebody that can make this happen now. Like right now. Who can start immediately? The first two designers say this. You want to talk about not meeting the needs of the prospect. You want to talk about not listening to the prospect. Two of them said, okay, we will go ahead and email you a proposal. You should have that in 3 or 4 days. Talk about a salesperson missing the buying signs. The buying signs were, I'm going to hire somebody now. I'm ready to pay now. If you are ready to start now. Those are buying signs. And they weren't listening or answering my need of now. I'll send you a proposal, blah, blah, blah. I get to the third one. I tell her what I need. I tell her what the deal is. I tell her what the needs are. She says, great. So would you like me to start today or tomorrow at 9 a.m.? These are my rates. I can begin immediately. So then she asked for the sale. The other ladies were giving me more information. And that's the difference between an amateur and a professional. The amateur does not listen to the needs of the prospect, but instead is selling the way they want to sell. The professional closed me. Would you like me to start today or tomorrow at 9 a.m.? She gave me an option. That was an assumption close. And we will begin on this process right now. Here are my rates. Great. Today would be awesome. Great. Let's work on your color palette immediately. Thank you. And when I see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'll have 4 different styling options that you can pick from. And you can tell me what your budget is. And I said, my budget is nothing. We're going to thrift stores. We are going to the cheapest possible places to fill this house. She's like, I love challenges. I said, I am not the person that we're going to the expensive furniture stores and dropping a bunch of money. I ain't spending $100,000, just so you know. We're going to thrift stores. We're going to secondhand places. We're going to antique stores. We're going to garage sales. She's like, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. I said, we will go to IKEA if we have to. We're going cheap. In fact, I don't mind finding a shelf at Walmart if it fits the need. She's like, okay. So if you have a problem with that and if you're too good for that, you just let me know now, because I'm sure there's plenty of other people to choose from that are rather resourceful and can help fill those needs. That's exactly what I told her. That's exactly what I told her. I can start today or tomorrow. Which would you prefer? Okay? You have to ask for the sale. And the assumption close is the best one to go with. Your next step is, why? It's safe to assume that you just filled their needs. You just showed them a way to solve their problem. You're an idiot if you say, so do you want to do it? Don't give them a chance to say no. They don't want the chance to say no. They don't like making decisions. So you have to tell them what to do. Your next step is this, fill out this application. Your next step is to fill out this order. Your next step is get you set up for your training. Your next step is get registered for First Steps to Success. Okay? And by the way, posture when you're closing. You assume it. They'd be foolish if they say no. Why wouldn't they want it? So you don't even open the door for that. But while you're learning how to close, if your posture isn't strong when you say your next step is, come on, let's just practice it together. Your next step is. You forgot your hand. Your next step is. You gotta nod your head. Next step is. You gotta have a smile on your face. Your next step is. I don't care if you're on the phone. Your next step is. Okay? You make sure that you go, your next step is. I have to tell you, man, your tone is everything. JP, I'm going to tell on you. This is so awesome. When I'm going to tell the story, it's a great story. It goes to show you about closing. So when I started in the weight loss business, I had written a script, and the script, we had a 90 to 100% closing ratio on it. With every one of my people that read this script, we all had a 90 to 100% closing ratio on it. Okay, it was just a simple little script. By the way, it's in the back of the script book. The very last script in the script book is that script. If you come from the weight loss business, you're stupid if you're not reading that script every day, 5-10 times a day. You'll make a crazy amount of money. It doesn't matter what your product is. Take the weight loss product out and plug your product in. The whole format, it's a perfect presentation. It's 10 minutes. Bam. It's powerful, and it works. No matter what it is that you're selling, you can utilize that script, customize it for what you do. So the script had a 90 to 100% closing ratio until JP got a hold of it. He was in Stockton, California. We are all in Hawaii. Now, you would think that the Hawaiian people, right, all of my team, a bunch of pot smoking, drinking, right, super like laid back of us, of a team of people that we started with, okay, because that pretty much is who I was recruiting. Why? Because you recruit who you are. You attract who you are, and I was a pot-smoking fool when I started. So anyway, so JP, so you would think that we wouldn't have good closing ratios, right? That's what you would think. So, but JP is professional in sales. He'd done sales for a really long time. He gets a hold of the script and he calls me. He says, I don't know what's wrong. He goes, but I'm not closing anybody. I'm like, JP, give me a break. How could you not be closing anybody? We have a 90 to 100% closing ratio. I get him on the phone. I say, okay, this is what I'm doing. 3-weighing him in. I'm reading. He's like, okay. He goes, he tries again. Nothing happens, right? So I'm like, okay, dude, read me the script. Maybe we should role play it out. Come on, man. You think you could duplicate it? Wrong one. Come on, dude. It'll be fun. Just for fun. I mean, come on. Rather than me pretending to be you, you should just be you.
It's kind of more entertaining when you pretend to be me, but all right.
Okay, so I'm in Hawaii, JP's in California, and so I said, okay, well, just read me the script. Let me see what's going on.
Hi there.
No, it was worse than that. Go.
What?
Pour it on, dude.
Hi there. This is John Paletti. You called in reference to a weight loss program.
That was my response. Oh my gosh, John, you sound like a slick oil salesman.
Yeah? I want to be professional. Like I'm on the radio.
It's exactly what he sounded like. So he ran an ad and he got tons of calls. In fact, the 77, right? You had gotten exactly 77 phone calls for the ad that said wanted 77 people, right? He got 77 phone calls and he was burning through all kinds. He's like, I don't want to burn 100% of these leads and get no sales. What am I doing wrong? So he sounded like a radio announcer. Hi there, this is JP. You called in reference to a weight loss program? I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so then I said, okay, dude, just read it like you're talking to me, is what I said. And you said,
Hi there, this is John Paletti. You called in reference to a weight loss program?
I said like that. Like you're talking to me. Let's just talk to each other. Like, he goes, what do you mean just like I'm talking to you? Just like we're talking right now. How we're talking right now. Just read it the way you're talking to me right now.
What do you mean, Dani?
So anyway, he got it. Did I talk about crinkling your nose? No, that was Ed. Do you remember that was Ed? Okay.
Hi there, this is Ed Negrelli.
Here's another one. But Ed doesn't talk to me like that. When Ed's on the phone with me, we're just talking. So the important thing with scripts is that you don't turn to another person. The important thing with reading a script, doing a presentation, or doing a close is that you don't become what you think you should be. You just have to be who you are. Because people trust who you are. They don't trust who you're trying to be. Because they know you're being fake. So you just got to be real. You just got to be real, okay? So do you remember what happened after you started being real?
One right after another.
Same script, same product, same leads. One after another, after another, after another. Why? Just be yourself, okay? So when it comes to closing, same thing. Don't freak out. On a close, don't all of a sudden turn into a slimy, slickle salesman. Don't all of a sudden get afraid and sound something like this. I'll go ahead and practice with you because it's just fun. I love being here with you.
Yes, it is.
Oh, JP, stop. Dork. So, okay, so I'll give you 2 examples. So what did you like about what you saw?
What did I see?
Whatever you saw. Pick one of the presentations we used to do.
Well, I like that we're helping people because, you know, the water's got so much crap in it, and so people have to drink it, and can make a little money doing that. I like that.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, I hate to see people get screwed over by government or stupid farmers that are putting crap on their fields, and so if I can help them not get cancer by drinking their water, then I'm cool with that. And, you know, I'll take the money too. Because I can do a lot of fun things with money.
Okay, so JP, do you want to make a little or a lot?
A lot, of course.
What for?
So I can travel, so I can just do whatever the heck I want without somebody telling me what to do. That's pretty much it. Fun is everything.
So JP, at your current job, how long will it take you to be able to help people not get cancer, help people not deal with that pollution that those stupid farmers are polluting their fields with, and then that goes into the water supply, and not deal with that stupid government that is allowing all those poisons to go into the water that is killing people and causing cancer, even in little kids? How long will it take you to be in a place where you will be able to make lots of money so you can have lots of fun traveling all over the place and not having some idiot tell you what to do?
It won't happen at all, because that's what happens all day long, is I have idiots telling me what to do, and I hate being there. So, yeah, forever, it won't happen.
Where do you see yourself getting started? At the bottom, working slowly towards having all that fun and traveling around and ditching the idiots? Or do you want to be in a position where you can make 2 times the amount of money for the same work and effort that the person at the bottom does?
I'll take door number 2, please.
Okay. Welcome aboard. Just go ahead and fill out your application. Okay. I'm just being myself. I'm just being myself. I'm just smiling. I'm letting him do all the talking. I'm letting him sell himself. I'm letting him tell me why he has to do this. I'm letting him tell me why he needs to make all that money. I'm letting him lead it. I'm just asking questions. And my close is, great, welcome aboard. That's an assumptive close. Great, welcome aboard. There always has to be a close. Now, where amateurs mess this up, where I used to mess this up, is right here. So JP, what did you like about what you saw?